Hello everyone. So now when we are configuring the eBGP and iBGP, if you see here this scenario, here what I done, this is the two router I have, this two router in the AS number 2 and this is only one router with the AS number 1. When I make the neighborship between this router from here to here, so this one we call eBGP. And this router inside this two router will be IBGP. If they are using the same AS, we are saying IBGP. If they are using the different AS, we are calling eBGP. We already know this one from long time. We remember this one. If we are using different AS, this guy is having the AS number 1, this guy is having the AS number 2. So when we are having the different AS, then we can call eBGP. When we are using the same AS, we can call IBGP. Now what we will have the problem here, when first here we will configure our IBGP, it will work, no issue. But here when we configure eBGP from here to here, this route, the route 1.1.1 is learning this guy, and this guy R2 is going to forward the same route here. Okay, he is going to forward the same route that is saying that 1.1.1.1, but he will not change the next hop. He will say I am learning this R2. R2 is going to say that one I am getting the route 1.1.1 from this interface. Example, this interface is 192.168.12.1. So R2 will share the information 1.1.1 to R3, but he will not change this interface IP. He will say I am getting this from the interface F0 by 0, that is 192.168.12.1. but R3 don't know about this one. R3 will know only this interface. If you are saying, if R2 will say, if you want to forward any traffic for 1.1.1, forward to me, I will take care. Generally when we configure, this guy will receive that traffic and he is going to forward to other router. But here what this guy is saying, I receive this route from here 192.168.12.1, and R3 is not having any entry about this one, so he will drop that packet. When we configure the BGP from IBGP to eBGP, we will have this issue. So what we will do, we will run one command here, next hops, to solve that issue. Let me show you here again. What I am saying here, we configure this way. Okay, just what we done, this is R2 R3 configuration is having the eBGP, and R1 R2 is having the R2 R3 is having the iBGP, because both are having the same AS 2 and 2. But R1 and R2 is having the eBGP because they are having the different AS number. And when we write show IP BGP, we are getting this route 1.1.1.1, from where we are getting next hop. It is showing the 192.168.12.1. R2 is showing this one. Okay, when we check in the R2. When we check in the R3, R3 is also getting that route, but it is getting next hop as 192.168.12.1. R3 don't know anything about 12.1, but he is getting that I am getting this route from 192.168.12.1. When we are going to ping from R3 to 1.1.1, it will not go because R3 is not having that connectivity. So how we can solve this issue? We can solve this issue by running this next hop self. When we write the next hop self, R2 is going to change this next hop IP, and he is going to keep his IP. Let me show you here the theory. By default feature of BGP, while forwarding the route from eBGP to iBGP router, next hop does not change. This point I am saying before. This point is important. See here, this is this one from here to here configuration is eBGP, and from here to here is iBGP. So when we configure this way, by default BGP, when BGP is forwarding from eBGP, this is eBGP to iBGP. When he is forwarding his route from this route from eBGP to iBGP, he is not going to change the next hop. He is not going to change that next hop. So here if we get that route 1.1.1, here I am getting that route saying that 1.1.1, next hop is this one. Here we will have same thing, we will have here also 1.1.1, next hop is this one. So all R2, R3 is getting that next hop will be this one. R2 know that next hop is here directly connected to him, so he can forward that traffic, he can receive. But R3 don't know anything about this 12.0, 12.1 network. So he cannot ping or he cannot reply to 1.1.1. So this is a issue. So how we can fix this issue? We will have the reachability issue with this one. So what we will do, we will use the next hop attribute we will use when we run this one next hop attribute. So this guy will not say that this is I am getting from 1.1.1. He will not say next hop will be this. He will say next hop his IP. He will show next hop his IP will be present in the place of next hop. So when this guy is pinging, he will forward the traffic here and he is going to forward the traffic there. So with this command we will solve the problem. Let me show you here. Here I put the screenshot so you will have more idea here. So this one, first when we are checking in the R1, it is showing that if anyone want to go to 1.1.1, next hop is 12.1. In the R2 it is showing this way. When we check in R3 also getting same thing. If anyone want to go 1.1.1 32, forward the traffic to next hop. This is next hop. But R2, R3 don't know anything about 12.1. Okay. So we will have the issue. So solution for this issue will be, we need to go in R2 and we need to say neighbor 192.168.23.2. We need to say this one 23.2 here. 23.2 we are saying to this guy, say next hop will be I am only the next hop. So what we will say here, he is saying next hop self. So when we write this command, that router will get that I am only the router who is giving you route. And if you see here, again we need to advertise our link. So these two command we need to add. Okay, we will discuss again this. Maybe first time you will face issue, no issue. We are going to discuss this again when we do this lab. So when we write this two command, what we will have in R3, we will get that if we want to forward the traffic 1.1.1, next hop will be 23.1. Who is 23.1? This guy. R2 is the 23.1. So this guy interface is coming in his routing table. So this guy, whenever he want to send any traffic to 1.1.1, he can forward here. First time when we did not configure next hop self command, what we are getting, if you want to forward the traffic to R3 is getting, if R3 want to forward the traffic to 1.1.1, he need to forward, where he need to forward, who is the next hop? He is having the next hop 192.168.12.1. This one is, this information is getting in R3. R3 don't know anything about this one. So we will have the reachability problem in this scenario. But if you see in R2, we will have the same thing 1.1.1. Next hop is 192.168.12.1. But R2 know this one because he is directly connected. But R3 don't know anything about that one. So we will have the issue. So how we can fix? We need to go in the R2 and we need to run two commands. First we need to write here, he need to mention R3, I am the next hop. That is next hop self. He will say that one, and after that this link, whatever they are connected, they will advertise. So with these two command in R3, next hop will change from this one from 12.2 to this IP. Whatever IP we have, that IP will come here, like 192.168.23.1. Then R3 is reachable to that one. Okay, I hope now it is clear. Just first we are understanding the concept, then we will do the lab. So what I am saying here, whenever we are sending any route from the eBGP to the iBGP, we will have the issue. What issue we will have? We will have the reachability issue. By default, feature of the BGP while forwarding the route from eBGP to iBGP router, next hop does not change. Next hop does not change. If you remember, when we are configuring the OSPF or EIGRP, automatically if we put here this IP and we advertise in the OSPF, we will get here Okay, in this routing table we will have that 1.1.1, and he will say if you want to forward the traffic here. Automatically we are getting in the routing table directly they are showing if anyone want to forward, this interface IP will come here and leaving interface will come in the routing table. But here we will not have. In BGP what we will have, same IP from where the R2 learn, that same IP will come here. That is a problem we will have. So we need to write this command, next hop self. So BGP next hop self solve the reachability problem. So we are going to see now. Okay, so this is the first time you are maybe you will feel this is little difficulty because first time we are discussing this one. When you practice, this will be much easy. Okay, just we need to remember these 4 points. In interview they will ask you why we are using the next hop self command. So we need to say by default feature of the BGP while forwarding the routes from the eBGP to the iBGP, next hop does not change. So we will have the reachability issue. So what we will do, we will run the BGP next hop self command in the R2. So R2 will change the next hop IP from 12.1 to our IP. He will give our IP so he can the R3 can send the traffic to R2 and R2 can forward the traffic to R1. If I give you a simple example, imagine your friend, you are R2. Imagine you are the R2, okay? Your friend asks you some money, okay? Your friend is this R3. You borrow some money from here, okay? From the R1 and you give that money to R3. And when you borrow and give to R3, you are saying that one, I borrow from R1. Okay, I borrow from R1, but R3 don't know anything about R1, and you are saying return this money to R1. So how R3 can return? R3 don't know anything about R1. So this is the nature of BGP. So what we need to tell R2, whenever you are giving any hand loan to your friend, don't tell that you are borrowing from here and give to him. Just say I am giving this one. When you want to return to me and take that one and give to the guy from where you borrow. This is the example just for understanding purpose. Okay, so this way you can easily remember. So what we are saying, by default we have the issue with the BGP. Whenever he borrow the route, whenever he get the route, he will say that I am getting this route from here, and this information R3 is not having, your friend is not having that information, so he is having the reachability issue. To overcome these types of scenario, we will tell the R2, don't tell you are borrowing from there and return to him. Say you are giving that one, and when you return the money, give to me, and when you receive that money, give from where you borrow. Okay, this is a simple example. With this one you will remember this concept. So here we will run BGP next hop self. With that one we will change the next hop from here this IP to this IP, and easily this guy can reach to you and you can forward the traffic to eBGP. Okay, so let's do this lab. When we do this lab, you will have more clear idea about that one. So what I will do, I will go here, let me switch off this one and let me create new lab. I will create new lab, new blank lab. Here name I will give, let me write this name, BGP next hop self, BGP next hop self, and I will put here this one. Now we will take the 3 router. So I will take R1, R2 and R3. Our wish, I will use the same scenario, so easy for understanding purpose. I will say this one, let me take this, I can take this here and I can move this, okay, I can move like this way. And then what we can write here, I can write this is the AS1. So this will be AS1 here. I can make duplicate, I can move, I can put this is a AS2. Okay, so now this will put here. So this is AS1, this is AS2. Let me move here and let me do the connectivity. I will enable the port number. So this is the fast Ethernet 0/0 to 0/0. Okay, and from here let me connect. Okay, here it is not coming. This is a fast Ethernet 0x1 to fast Ethernet 0x0. Okay, so this is the connectivity we have. We are going to use, this is a IBGP, this is a EBGP. Now I will power on the router. Okay, and then we can open the console also. I can open the console. Let me take the console of R1, console of okay, let me take here, let me close the old whatever we are not using. So this is a R1. Now I will open the console of R2, and then I will go and I will open the console of R3 also here. Okay, so now what we will do here, we can define the IP schema. We can use here 192.168.12.0. okay, so let me write here, this is the IP schema, and here we will have the IP schema. What we will have, 23.0. Here we will create one loopback also, because we are calling here. Let me move this here. Okay, so here loopback 0 I will create, or we can create any loopback, loopback 1, loopback 2. So here we will create the loopback 0, and IP we can give 1.1.1.1. I can give /32 also. Okay, /32, let's use /32. We can use anything. And here, okay, so this is the our setup. So now we need to do the configuration. So let me take the notepad. In the notepad I will write here this lab for what? This lab is for BGP next hop. Okay, so let me write here BGP next hop self. So let me move from here. Here I will write, and now in the notepad we will write this heading. This is the lab for BGP next hop self. Here I will write the R1 configuration. Configuration is simple, R1 configuration. Enable, let me go up here, enable config t host name R1, and then what we will do, we will write interface fast Ethernet 0x0, and I will write IP address. What is IP? 192.168.12.1 255.255.255.0, and then we will write no shut here. So this is the interface 1. Then we have one more loopback, so I will write interface loopback 0, and then I will write IP address. I will write 1.1.1.1, and we are writing 32 means all will be 255. Okay, 32 means all will be 255. Even if we want to use /8 we can use, but anyhow I wrote 32, so we will use the this 32. So this is for the R1 configuration. Now let me divide this page, and I will do here R2 configuration. So I will write here R2 configuration. Enable config t host name R2, and then interface fast Ethernet 0x0. IP address, what is IP? 192.168.12.2 255.255.255.0, and we will write here no shut. Okay, and the other interface fast Ethernet 0 f1/0, and then we will write IP address, and what is the IP address? 192.168.23.2. okay, router 2, so I will give .2, this one .2, and then 255.255.255.0, and we will write no shut. What else? This is just we are assigning the IP address, and let me divide here and write the R3 IP address. This is the R3 configuration. Let me copy paste this. We will modify R3 here. So this will be R3, and in R3 what interface we have? Only one interface, so let me remove this. And here what we have? 23, so this is 23.3. okay, so router number will be last IP, this one. So if you see here 12.2 and here 23.2 and no shut, and this is also okay. So just what I done here, just I assign the IP address. Okay, just I assign the IP address. Now I can copy paste this IP address in the router, then we will do the BGP configuration. So what I will do, I copy here, I will go in the R1. Okay, I am inside the R1. I will just assign the IP address in the R1. Just I assign the IP, everything is good. Now I will go, okay, we have one more notepad. Let me check what is this one. Let me save this, okay, else we will be confused. Let me save this BGP active passive, and I can close this one. Okay, so now I will copy the R2 configuration. Just I am assigning the IP address in the R2. So let me go in the R2 and assign in the R2. Okay, so R2 is having R1 we assign or not, somewhere we assign. Okay, here R1 we assign already, in R2 also we assign already. Now we need to go for R3 and we can assign in the R3. So let me go here, I will copy. R3 is having only one interface, so I will go, I will assign in the R3. Now what I will do, we need to write the configuration for the BGP also. So this is R1, and let's see here, we need to make the neighborship from here to here. So I will go here in the R1. In the R1 I will write router BGP1. Okay, and then what we will do, we will write neighbor, and what is the neighbor IP? 192.168.12.2. 12.2 is a neighbor, and the remote dash AS, I am here. Okay, this is the remote dash AS AS2. So I will write this AS2. Okay, and I need to advertise my interface, so I will write network. Okay, network, and what is my network? 1.1.1.1. I need to write the complete IP because I am using 32. So I need to write complete 255. Okay, if you use here /8, example, if you use here /8, then you need to write 1.0.0.0 and 255.0.0.0. But I use /32, so I put all subnet, all IP, complete subnet mask. Okay, so this way I configure BGP in the router 1. Now I need to do in the router 2 also. So what I can do, I will copy from here to here. Let me paste here, and here I am in the 2. So I will write BGP 2, and this one will be 1 because I am checking this. So remote AS, and this is also 1. So from here to here I configure here to here. Now I need to configure here also. So for here what I will do, I will copy the same thing and I will paste here again, and here my neighbor is 23. This is 23. So I will write 23 dot, let me remove this, 23.3, right? Let me repeat again what I am saying. This IP for this router will be whatever IP we are using, .2, and here .3. So what I done here, this is my neighbor .2, 192.168.12.2, and remote AS is 2, and this I advertise. This one we finish. So now here this is my neighbor IP, this one, and now this one. So this is the neighbor IP 192.168.23.3, and remote AS is 2 because both are having 2. So this is 2. Okay, now we need to configure in the R3 also. R3, so let me copy this whole thing from here to here. I will go, I will paste in R3 this one, and here I will remove this. Okay, and we have only one neighbor, this is only the neighbor, so 192.168.23.2, and remote AS is 2. So this is the BGP configuration for the R3. Okay, so let's paste the configuration. So I will take this from here to here, I will copy, and I will go here in the R1, and I will put here exit, and we can paste here. I will paste here. Okay, this one to make the neighborship, and the other one to advertise my LAN network or my loopback network. So this is finished. Now I will copy R2. R2 is having two neighbor. One is the eBGP, because how I am saying eBGP, this is 2 and this is 1. So this is eBGP. If both are same, then iBGP. Okay, so one neighbor is eBGP, one neighbor is with iBGP. So I will copy this. Okay, now I will exit. Okay, this is R1, so I will go R2 and here I will exit and I will paste this here. So now I will go in R3 and I will copy this whole thing from here to here and I will paste in the R3, this one. So now it is okay. Now we need to wait some time. After that we can check. How we can check? We can write here. First we will go in the R2. Okay, we will go in the R2. Here we have the neighborship up. I will write here in the R2 show IP BGP. If you see, still we don't have, so we need to wait some time. Still we should get here. So BGP is a slow protocol, we need to wait some time. Okay, so let's see, now it came or no, still not came. Here let's see here, let me check here. Do we have here? Let me show IP BGP. Still we did not get show IP BGP. Yeah, now here it is getting. This is the, if you see here, this is my own network, whatever is connected, because if I am getting next hop as 0.0.0, that means this is connected to me directly. But here we are not getting the other routes. Yeah, okay. Now if you see, I am in the R2. When I check in the R2, I am getting 1.1.1. my next hop is 12.1. so let me show you here. If you, let me make this, if you check here, I am in the R2. Okay, I am in the R2. When I am checking here, I am saying I am getting 1.1.1. from where I am getting? From here, 192.168.12.1. this is my next hop. So if I want to forward the traffic, I can forward to this one. But if I go here in R3, if I write here in R3 show IP BGP, what I am getting this one only, 192.168.12.1. but I don't know anything about 192.168.12.1. if I write here show IP BGP summary, if you see, let me make big so we can see here easily. I am getting, let me write again. So when I write here show IP BGP summary, I am getting, this is my neighbor, okay, 23.2. but here if I see, when I am writing show IP BGP, I am saying I am getting the route. What I am getting? I am getting 1.1.1.1, but my next hop is this one. And if you see here, I have only star here. Star means valid, and if you have greater than symbol, then it is best. So this is not best, it is only valid. And I have the next hop is this one. So if we want to forward any traffic to 1.1.1, I need to forward to 192.168.12.1, but I don't have any information for 12.1. if you see show IP show IP route, if I see here, I am not getting anything. Show IP route, I don't have anything here. If you see here, do we have any information about 12.1 here? Nothing. I don't have anything in 12.1. If I go here, I will write show IP route. I have here in R2. I know, if you see here in R2, what I am getting, if anyone want to go to 1.1.1, forward that traffic here, I am getting in the R2. But if you see in R3, I don't have anything. When I check this command show IP BGP, what I am getting? I am getting that one. If anyone want to go to this 1.1.1, our next hop is this one. But I don't have this entry in my routing table. If I check show IP route, I don't have anything about 12.1. I don't know anything about 12.1. So how I can forward the traffic to 12.1? I don't know how to go to 12.1. So I cannot forward the traffic to 12.1. So this will be drop. If I write here ping 1.1.1.1, we will have the request timeout, because we will drop the traffic. BGP will say, if you want to go 1.1.1, forward the traffic to 12.1. In our routing table, we don't have 12.1. Even if I ping 12.1, it will not 192.168.12.1. I don't know anything about 12.1. I cannot reach. This is a problem in the BGP. when we connect the eBGP to iBGP, we will have the issue. The guy who is connecting the eBGP to iBGP, this guy, the R2 who is connecting to the eBGP to iBGP. Okay, the guy who is connecting eBGP to iBGP, he did not change this next hop. He need to change from this to this. When he changed, saying that if you want to go to 1.1.1, next hop will be I am the next hop. He need to say that one. Then only this guy can forward the traffic here and he can forward here. But in the BGP, by default, he will not change next hop. He will say next hop is this one. And R3 don't know anything about that one. So we will have the issue. So what we need to do? We need to configure BGP next hop self. So this guy will say next hop, I am the next hop. So this guy can, this R3 can send the traffic to him and he can forward here. Okay. And we verify also here. If you want, let me show you again what I done. When we write here, show BGP, show IP BGP, we are getting this route 1.1.1, but the problem here, next hop is this one and we don't know anything about this 12.1, and we check in our routing table also, we don't have anything about that one 12.1, and if we ping also, it is not working. We cannot reach to that one. If you check in the R2, when we write in R2 show IP BGP, we are getting that one. This is a 1.1.1. If we want to go to 1.1.1, next hop is this one. And if you see, this is a valid. If you see here, star means valid and greater than means best. So this route is valid and best. We can go here and this is our next hop. And if you go here, if you write show IP route, you will have this route here. If you want to forward this, if you want to forward the traffic for this IP, you need to forward here. So we have this entry here in our routing table. So easily R2 can forward because it is directly connected to him, but we cannot. We don't have that entry in our routing table. So the problem creating by R2. When R2 is getting the route, he is saying directly I am getting from him. Okay. When R2 is getting this route and R2 is sharing that route to R3, but he is not saying that I am giving you. He is saying that I am getting from here, and R3 don't know how to go here. That is the issue. So now we will ask R2, whenever you get the route from eBGP and you are sharing that route in iBGP, don't tell that you are getting from here. Tell that you are giving that route. Okay. And when this guy R3 or anyone in the iBGP want to go to that route, take that route and you know how to go and forward that one. We will tell to R2. Then R2 will start working perfectly. When R2 will give this information this way, then R3 will send the route to send the traffic to 1.1.1 perfectly. Okay, so this is the issue. So now what we can do? We can do the configuration. So we need to do configuration where the router which is connecting the iBGP to eBGP. This is E, this is I. R2 is connecting. So we need to do this configuration in R2. So what we will do, how we will do the configuration? We need to go router BGP2 and then we need to write here. Example here I will write. What we will write? We will write neighbor, NEG, neighbor. Okay, neighbor. And what is our neighbor IP? This is the neighbor for this one. So I will write 192.168. What I have 23.2, right? Or this IP, neighbor IP 23.3. So I will write 23.3 and I will say next hop self. Next next hop self we need to run. Okay, so with this command, and we need to advertise also. What we need to advertise? We need to write network and we need to advertise the same network. So 192.168.23.0 and the mask we will write here 255.255 192.168.255.0. so this way we need to configure. When we configure, R3 is going to install the root. Okay, and here I need to write our IP, not this guy IP. I am in the R2, so what I will put, our IP we need to write, so this is R2. So what I am saying here, these two command we need to add. We need to say neighbor 192.168.23.2 next hop self. So I am the next hop. We need to say I am the next hop, and then we will write network and network ID and this the mask. So two things we are saying I am the next hop, then this link we are advertising. After that it will solve the problem. So what I will do, I will copy these two command and we will go in the R2. Let me go in the R2 and we will type here in the R2. We will write router BGP what we write here, BGP2. We are using BGP2, so I will write BGP2. Okay, and here I will advertise. I wrote some spelling mistake. Let me check neighbor spelling. Neighbor E I miss here, so let me paste E here. Okay, so now let me copy and paste again. So let me paste again. Now cannot configure local system as neighbor. Okay, sorry, I put here this IP should be 3. Let me copy paste here and check. I will explain this. Okay, so what we are saying, the first time what I write, that is the correct one here. See here what I am saying, neighbor, I am writing neighbor, so this is my neighbor. Okay, so to next neighbor, the neighbor I am saying neighbor next hop is myself. Let me show you in the diagram here. I am standing here, I am saying to my neighbor. Here I wrote, first time I write correct IP, by mistake I changed this to, because this is a neighbor. If we are using network, then we will use our IP, but this is a neighbor. So neighbor, who is neighbor? This guy is neighbor. So I will say 192.168.23.3 neighbor, this neighbor next hop is myself. So we are saying to this guy, I am the next hop, and then this link whatever we are using we will advertise. So now in the R3, if we go in the R3, we can check show IP BGP. You will have this information. If you see, we have here star and we have here greater than. If you go here star and this is a greater than, and if you see next hop change here, next hop change here. What is this change? Before what we have, if you see here, before we have 12.1, but now we change to what? We change to 23.2. Okay, so what we are saying, neighbor 192.168.23.3 next hop will be IAM will be the next hop we are saying here, and we are advertising this link. So just you need to remember, whenever we are getting the route from the eBGP to iBGP, we need to put this two command. What we need to type? We need to type our neighbor IP and we need to say next hop self. So I am the next hop, and then whatever the link is connected between us and neighbor, we need to advertise with the network command, that one. This is a two command. When we type this two command, we will get this route and next hop will be 23.2. And now if you check, you will have the route also. When you write show IP BGP, you have the route, and if you see next hop will be 23.2. Next hop will be 192.168.23.2. and if you see here, what we can do, we can ping from here, we will get 1.1.1.1. it will work. Okay, so what I am saying, just we need to write two command in the router which is connecting to the eBGP to the iBGP. This is the eBGP, this is the iBGP. This router is connecting, so we need to say to our neighbor. If you have one more neighbor here, then you need to say neighbor and write the neighbor IP and say next hop self, and then whatever link you have connectivity, write that link in that one. Okay, so then they will get this route. So this concept is known as next BGP next hop self. So this way we will do. Okay, so let me show you what else. So at last in the router 3 we will get that route 1.1.1 will be 23.1. Okay, so let me stop this recording.